Hello everyone, and thank you to RFID Journal for this fantastic opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Marcel Cote and I'm the Asia Pacific Director for Sales and Market Development at Avery Dennison Smartrac. I hope everyone is safe and well wherever you are in the world. It really is a pity we can't be together in person this year. However, I do look forward to meeting some of you, or even many of you, as soon as it's safe to do so. Today I'd like to spend some time and focus on the global supply chain, which I'm sure you'd agree is enduring the most significant challenges in history, not just from the global pandemic, but also a myriad of other factors, which I'll cover during today's presentation. Specifically, I'm going to focus on how digital identification technologies are able to deliver supply chain resilience. So today I'll share a quick introduction to Avery Dennison Smartrac. Then we'll take a look at a product's journey through the global supply chain before we uncover the key factors which are challenging supply chains today. And finally, we'll look at how RFID specifically is able to deliver supply chain resilience. So first, a quick introduction of Avery Dennison for those of you who may not be so familiar with our organisation. Avery Dennison is a global materials science and manufacturing company specialising in the design and manufacture of a wide variety of labelling and functional materials. We believe in a future where every item will have a unique digital identity. And we pride ourselves for having a strategic focus in sustainable design and manufacturing. With operations in over 50 countries, we have the world's largest UHF RFID partner. We've produced over 60 billion UHF RFID tags to date and have over 1,500 RFID-related patents and applications with 9 design and innovation centres worldwide. Our Avery Dennison Smartrac organisation has the largest team of RFID experts in the industry and produce over 12 billion inlays per year, with our expanding production footprint with sites across most of the world, from US to Mexico, and Malaysian, China, Romanian, German operations, and very soon to come in Brazil. All operating at a world-class quality standards, which ensures our products' consistent performance and reliability. We have a very strong R&D network and capabilities, and we're ranked in the top 100 of Barron's most sustainable companies recently. Thanks to our commitment to sustainability and innovation, with many world-first product developments in RFID, from our microwave-safe inlays to our SmartFace technology, which uses significantly less PET than your typical inlay construction. Our exciting portfolio of digital identification solutions continues to expand and adapt from UHF, NFC and HF portfolios through to our investments in printed electronics and Bluetooth technologies. I'd also just like to add in here a quick mention about our most recent launch of Atma.io, which is a cloud-based platform that can provide unparalleled end-to-end item level traceability by assigning a digital ID to everyday items, then storing and managing all of the events associated with the product's journey across the supply chain. We sure have a progressive family of digital ID solutions that will continue to progress well into the future. Well, I'm sure you'd agree the past 18 months have been challenging in many, many ways. It's happened to me a few times last year when I came home from grocery shopping to inform my wife, to her disbelief, sorry, darling, there was no toilet paper again today at the supermarket. It was situations like these which have really shone a spotlight on the global supply chain, with companies now recognizing that they must react and build supply chain resilience to absorb and then recover from potential future disruptions. For me, this challenge presents a huge opportunity for the whole RFID industry at large. So if we take a high-level look at the global supply chain, covering the distribution of items from raw materials through to suppliers, manufacturing distribution networks, right the way through to last-mile logistics, we can clearly see the size of this challenge and the opportunity presented to the RFID industry right now. It's fair to say we live in a very highly interconnected world economy, which includes millions of companies operating across different countries across the globe. And it's therefore imperative that we have a successfully functioning supply chain to ensure a strong network between a company's suppliers and distribution of these goods to their customers. There are literally trillions of consumable products distributed across the world each year and counting, with only a fraction of a percentage of these actually digitally connected today. This is because the bulk of supply chains today predominantly use physical barcode-based systems requiring significant manual checks and inputs at each step of a product's journey, making it very difficult to actually enable a high level of visibility across the supply chain. We're actually aware that in a typical year, supply chain disruption can cost organizations across the world an average of $184 million per year, even higher in the US at about $228 million. So you can just imagine how damaging the past 18 months alone have been with so much disruption. Supply chains, and in particular distribution warehouses, are simply not designed for our current reality. Most are run with very manual, labor-intensive processes that makes them inflexible and vulnerable, with many of being significantly challenged right now due to three factors highlighted here: e-commerce, globalization, and the unexpected challenges like the COVID pandemic. Let's start with e-commerce, where the Amazon effect, we like to call it, is seeing an online shopping boom, driving a new logistics demand at 3 times faster than traditional retail-related logistics. This Amazon effect has revolutionized the supply chain and enhanced customers' expectations forever, with Amazon now accounting for close to 40% of all retail e-commerce sales in the US alone, with customers expecting now to be able to buy at any time or location with expedited delivery, price transparency, and real-time shipment visibility. Thanks to globalization, our supply chains are much more sensitive to shocks these days, as we're now so reliant on sourcing products from around the world. Whether it's international trade wars or the current labor shortages, many organizations are finding it more and more challenging to hire and retain qualified supply chain workers. We're seeing new trends emerge with such things as nearshoring and micro-fulfillment centers, where companies are moving their operations and distribution closer to customers in different countries in order to reduce manufacturing and transportation costs while enabling shorter delivery lead times. While emissions and waste reduction is also becoming a top priority for all major global organizations and governments, with supply chains under particular scrutiny given their large contribution to the world's carbon emissions, which is indeed a significant issue to address. And finally, our new normal is very different from 2 years ago. From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, the pandemic has highlighted the challenges faced with managing safety stock and the inability to react to dynamic nature of the supply chain. We're seeing wild swings from minus 90% to plus 1,000% in product demand, which is catching most companies off guard. The COVID pandemic indeed highlights the need for businesses to establish long-term resilience to manage future disruptions. So let's dig a little deeper into how significant the COVID pandemic impact has really been on the global supply chain over the past 18 months. These facts and figures paint a very compelling picture indeed, with 94% of the Fortune 1000 companies seeing supply chain disruption, and 75% of companies having a negative impact on their business, with 55% planning to downgrade their outlooks. While we've seen a significant 500% increase in global container freight since early 2020, and in Europe, we've seen a further 30% growth in the e-commerce sector recently. While air freight, I'm sure many of you will be aware, has seen a 70% price increase since March last year. I'm sure you'll agree, with this much disruption worldwide, there is also a fantastic opportunity for solution providers, like in the RFID industry, to enable supply chains to become more resilient in the future. Companies are continuously trying to make improvements to their supply chains and logistics capabilities. Whether it's increasing throughput with more volume at a faster rate with existing infrastructure, or maximizing their productivity with better truck and forklift utilization. Companies are trying to find solutions to flex with demand by having the ability to shift SKUs and volume mix as demand fluctuates. They're also looking for areas to reduce their environmental impact by introducing reusable packaging and more circular operations. And finally, they are making adjustments to manage through current pandemic, which has magnified labor challenges and the need for agility. Today, companies are addressing these factors by simply holding more inventory or trying to process more through their operations or even extending the actual production shifts. All of which may be a short-term fix, but is clearly not a cost-effective long-term solution to making their supply chains more resilient for future disruptions. However, we believe supply chain resilience goes well beyond these quick fixes I just mentioned. It's becoming very clear that companies should consider investing in digital identification to optimize their supply chains and absorb and then adapt to these disruptions to quickly recover from them in the future. A recent Gartner global survey highlighted that 90% of companies are planning to invest in supply chain resilience in the next 2 years. This indeed presents a fantastic opportunity for the RFID industry, as we're very well placed to help organizations address current issues across many of their supply chain pain points with RFID technology. In particular, we see accuracy and visibility of inventory across the supply chain as a key fundamental area where digital identification can deliver resilience against these unplanned disruptions by providing better visibility and planning to help cope with industry disruptions, such as what we're experiencing with the pandemic right now. Here we're talking about inventory accuracy and visibility at every step of the supply chain. This does not necessarily need to be at the item level, as we see that even at the case, the pallet level, there are also fantastic improvements in many instances, as I'll share with you shortly. Velocity and labor efficiencies are the quantifiable short-term monetary benefits which digital identification can deliver through automation, where we can enable the processing of more product volume at a faster rate with minimal labor within a refined and confined minimal footprint. Both agility and sustainability are the long-term strategic benefits from adopting digital identification. Agility ensures supply chains can adjust with the ebbs and flows of market demands, whether it just be cycle seasonality reasons or more significant industry disruptions. While sustainability is an extremely important focus area, where digital identification can actually reduce environmental impact through the supply chain. For example, using real-time live data to optimize distribution routes or optimizing pallet and container space, there is a huge opportunity for companies to do more with a lower carbon footprint. So let's take another look at a typical supply chain today, where trillions of consumer products pass through each year. While many companies have invested heavily in digital logistics systems to try to track their products from raw material sourcing right the way through to their last mile logistics, they're still relying on the manually scanned barcodes and 2D codes to feed data into these systems. This approach causes delays in capturing and analyzing the scan data. It also causes a high chance for human errors and is clearly an inefficiency which impacts product velocity across the supply chain. We like to call this the digital connectivity gap, where products are not visible in real time, thus exposing supply chains to the many disruptions I shared with you earlier. Here we're not specifically talking about each individual item, as in most cases we're referring to an issue through the supply chain where the pallets, the cartons, and even the parcels that transport these items are also disconnected. However, let's take a look at the supply chain using digital identification. In this example, we can see how RFID can solve many different challenges that we looked at earlier. While I'm sure we all know the compelling benefits of RFID as a technology, this graphic illustrates how RFID can deliver an automated connectivity layer. By investing in RFID, companies can effectively create a digital twin for every physical product, whether it be at that pallet, case, parcel, or even at the individual item level, which can provide real-time visibility right the way through the supply chain. This delivers significant benefits in fundamental areas, such as improving visibility and accuracy, while enabling operational benefits, such as automation, which drives warehousing optimization and velocity through the supply chain. Our partners and our customers who are using RFID across their supply chains today are enjoying the direct benefits that I've just shared with you. RFID has been particularly important during the current supply chain disruptions to enable global retail brands to ensure continuity of supply to their customers, thanks to real-time product visibility. RFID adoption has enabled them to improve their decision-making based on more reliable information. They're able to reduce the need for holding additional costly inventory, while also enabling a faster supply chain response to these unexpected disruptions. Barron's recently published an article which stated, "The pandemic has pushed retail to a tipping point where those that can take advantage of strong RFID investments will reap the benefits." Kelvin McDonald, the CEO of Lululemon, recently stated that with the use of RFID, they can access products at any point across their network, not just at the DC level, but also at their stores. Clearly, Lululemon are utilizing the real-time inventory visibility that RFID provides to ensure their customers get what they want, when they want, and where they want it, despite all the challenges that we've been discussing today. Avery Dennison has supported many logistics and supply chain pilots in recent times across multiple industry segments beyond retail apparel, including in food, beauty, and healthcare industries, where we're clearly demonstrating significant benefits of RFID adoption. It's now clearly evident that digital identification solutions can deliver the same supply chain resilience being achieved in the global apparel industry. So let's hope that our retail stores and our grocery stores will remain sufficiently stocked with toilet paper and other items into the future. So as you can see, digital identification including RFID is well positioned to deliver supply chain resilience, no matter what industry disruptions we encounter in the future. Here are just a few compelling results from recent Avery Dennison pilots that we conducted across the world. This clearly highlights the benefits of having a digital twin and enabling real-time visibility at the pallet, case, or item level. We're seeing a significant reduction in missed shipments and inspection times, while ensuring products across the food and healthcare industries are supplied are authentic and ethically sourced. While we have data now that clearly supports the benefits of RFID adoption, that shows that RFID can significantly improve inventory cycle counts from 75% up to 92%, while improving out of stock from 60 up to 80%. We're also seeing RFID adoption improving shipping packaging accuracy by up to 80%. Inventory accuracy up to over 99%, at the same time reducing receiving times by 90%. These are just some of the typical results we're seeing from various companies across multiple industries adopting RFID in their supply chains. However, specifically within the logistics industry, we're seeing many more compelling warehouse and load optimization benefits emerge. With trillions of products flowing through the global supply chain, it's quite clear the challenge is huge, but so is the opportunity ahead of this industry. So this concludes my very short session on digital identification, delivering supply chain resilience. I hope you found it both informative and inspiring, as the RFID industry is so well positioned to deliver supply chain resilience and help the world overcome both the current and inevitable future disruptions. If you'd like more information or support in this specific area of focus or any other digital identification related initiatives, feel free to reach out to me directly, especially if you're based in Asia Pacific, or of course, you're welcome to reach out to your local Avery Dennison Smartrac representative. Thanks for your time today. Hope to meet you in person at next year's RFID Journal, the live event. In the meantime, please stay safe and bye for now.